From one set of streets to the next throughout Tehran, today's filmmaker has worked in secret while being persecuted for his art, bringing audiences an intimate look inside his home country of Iran. We are in season 3 of Oscar Rewind, and today I am looking at Kino Lorber's Jafar Panahi's Taxi. Written and directed and edited and produced and starring and everything else except for the music by Jafar Panahi himself, this film released first at Berlinale in 2015. What's up, everybody? Cinephile Mike is here. It is a new episode of Oscar Rewind, where I am looking back at the films of this past year's Oscar nominees and winners. Make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss any of these throwbacks. We have some really good ones coming your way. Today we are wrapping up Chapter 3, Early Visions. This chapter focused on earlier work from the other Oscar-nominated directors and those who directed the Oscar-nominated titles. And today we look at Jafar Panahi, who brought us this year's It Was Just an Accident. So if you've never seen Taxi, here's your quick spoiler-free setup. Panahi plays himself, but he is driving a cab around the Iranian streets, capturing the lives of all of his fares. With cameras set up in the cab, all of the conversation is captured, whether it's a pair of feuding passengers, one in favor of capital punishment and the other against it, a man dying after an accident whose distraught wife desperately needs a recording of his oral will, or two elderly women racing to release a goldfish into the holy springs. And then at one point, Panahi picks up his niece Hana from school, a young girl of about 10 or 11 who has just as fascinating an interest in filmmaking as her uncle. Precocious beyond her years, she is very opinionated and excited to capture action through her camera's lens. And here is where Panahi's day turns as he engages with some other friends with their own secrets now captured on camera, and he will just go about his day when they discover one of the fares from earlier left a purse in the back of the cab. It's really hard to say anything else about the film because it's almost just a video diary of a day in the life of a cab driver, and Panahi's long, unedited shots of cinema verite capture each thought. Now, at one point, you feel almost like you're watching a documentary. I mean, the natural is so convincing that had I not researched the film afterward or given a few key moments that seemed a bit too extreme, I assume most of this was genuine and unscripted. But I am wrong, which makes it all the more interesting. And while the first half of the film is interesting to watch because we learn a lot about the culture and the street life of the Iranian residents we meet, the film gets more interesting when he picks up his niece, who's a little spitfire. She's precocious in a way that could possibly get annoying, but as you hear the things she says and makes the arguments for various things being discussed, especially about filmmaking, which makes this film very meta, by the way, she's endearing, and you can see the burgeoning filmmaker that she is going to be. Especially during that one interaction with a young boy who has a crisis of conscience right underneath Hannah's watchful eye. You know, Panahi smartly edits the film, keeping the action moving and sometimes questioning if certain circumstances are as dire as they are. When the film ends, there are no credits, save a note from Panahi who discusses that only government-sanctioned films can share that information, which itself is a fascinating tidbit. And it's this tidbit that will make the ending of the film very poignant. It's interesting. This film is about everything and nothing at the same time. And while it may be a bit divisive and, kind of like a one-off kind of a thing, it is definitely worth a watch at 80 minutes. Now, let's talk about the box office and the awards. After the film's run, it made $321,642 domestically, $3,584,585 internationally, giving it a worldwide take of $3,906,227. Critically, the film sits with a 96% tomato meter from 110 reviews and a 79% popcorn meter from over 500 audience reviews. Award season-wise, the film had 16 nods and wins, with 2 victories at Berlinale, the Golden Bear, and the Fipresci Prize. It was a Best Foreign Film nomination at the César Awards, France's Oscars, and over a dozen other nods and wins from various festivals, both domestic and internationally. It's an interesting film, and for its very simple look at a very complicated society, I have to say, this film is 4 stars. I wasn't that high at first, but really reflecting on it, I kind of had to recognize everything that Panahi did. To watch this prohibited in its home country film, we here, with a lot more freedom, can find it streaming on the Kino Lorber Film Collection website, or you can rent it on most digital platforms. And that's it for episode 27 of Season 3 of Oscar Rewind and the end of Chapter 3. If you enjoyed this episode and want to check out the others, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. And next time we are here, we begin Chapter 4, Designed for the Big Screen, where we explore the artists behind production design, costumes, and makeup that helped bring this year's Oscar nominees to life. Also, let me know in the comments, which director's early work has surprised you the most after seeing what else they went on to create? Please follow me on all social media platforms and on Letterboxd, and check out my website, cinephilemike.com, for more exclusive cinematic content. I will see you for the next rewind, but until then, this is Cinephile Mike reminding you to take a break and watch something new.